Hey guys, I want to talk today about the energetic forecast for March. And maybe not specifically just for March, but for the next 6 weeks, March into April. And to this specific point that we are in, it does feel very much like an energetic passage. And how I feel the energy is at the moment is that it holds so much potential. And it is a moment that is inviting us to see where life is trying to be a launch pad for us. March, the next coming weeks, into early April, this window of time can act as a significant launch pad for you. And not just for your 2025, but how I'm seeing it is that the anchoring that we do in 2025 is part of how we set up a much larger cycle, a multi-year cycle after 2025. And actually, on a collective level in numerology, we are living out a year 9, which is the completion of cycles. It is the ending and it is the beginning. So it makes perfect sense, my energetic read of March and April, that we are in this window that's asking us to align, that is asking us to recognize that our vibration and the shedding that we do in this window can absolutely set us up for this next multi-year cycle. And in particular, in March and April, there is a lot of astrological things happening, and I'm not going to go into those things. You can hear about those things in other places. What I'm going to read is just the pure feeling of the field and some of the potentials that I'm picking up, and I want to point out, and I want to give you a chance to work with, chance to reflect on, and hopefully this can take you further in this month and towards where you are headed. So I did have some very clear insights that came from the field, but another one just really rammed in very fast as I was beginning this video. And it's a simple question. It's important at this time to ask yourself honestly and earnestly, what timeline do I want to be on? What reality do I want to live? In all areas of my human life and my human identity, what is the timeline that I choose to migrate to? The only time you can change to a new timeline is now. It's at the moment of choice. There is no becoming and getting better and getting into a higher vibration, and then at some point you'll eventually be on another timeline. You have to choose to shift to that other timeline. The choice initiates the process. It puts an end to this continuous spin of, I need to transform more. I need to become more. I need to develop. I need to. I have to. I should. Goodbye. It's time to put an end to this stuff. It's time to put an end to where the ego is spinning, where your identity is trying to grasp into a new reality from their point of being stuck in the present box that you are creating. All of the things that you are suffering at the hands of, or that you're not feeling complete flow or connection to, are in some way or another a creation that you have weaved through what is within you. And it is time to be honest about where it is that you are creating your own shackles and your own cages, because that responsibility and that honest inquiry is the only thing that can truly dissolve the energy and set you free and allow yourself to rise into that new timeline that you want to be on. So that's the first opportunity that I feel so strongly at this moment, is the honest inquiry of, what timeline do I want to be on? How can I be honest about this within myself? What am I feeling? And if you are in a timeline that you don't resonate with, trying to find where you are tethering yourself to this timeline and why. Because somewhere you will be tying yourself to this timeline. Now, the other things that came up when I was feeling into the energy of the next couple of weeks was a type of space that we should be cultivating. Well, there's no should, but a type of space that we would receive a lot from and that would benefit us during this window of time. So this is a space of presence, depth, focus, undistractedness, and slowness. Slowing down a bit this month. Yes, there are new potentials moving, new ideas, new inspirations, and you really want to get onto that timeline and do that thing. But just let yourself have a spaciousness in your being. Lean back into it as if it was a rocking chair. And from that place of vibrational relaxation and spaciousness, allow the potentials to start working for you. Allow the magnetism to happen. This spaciousness is really important in this season because there are so many energies that are up for negotiation at this time. There are so many things that are coming to the surface. So much is being dredged up, and we are being invited to recalibrate more into ourselves and to see where we are living in loops, living from patterns, and where we have outgrown the box that our conditioning has been creating for us. So this is a big theme this month. And if you are not creating that kind of space to really examine and be in communication with what's coming up for you, or the communication can be a proactive, preemptive communication that is, you can use the pointers from this video as a starting point, or just being an intuitive conversation with yourself, with what's moving for yourself, creating that kind of reflective attitude. And when you create this spaciousness to work with all the energies that are moving this month, you will experience less triggers, emotional triggers, and you will also experience less need to have big things blow up in your physical reality. When we are not looking at an energy inside of ourselves, we haven't addressed it first intuitively, and then emotionally we ignore the signal, the invitation, then something usually has to happen in the physical realm, like a big bust up of energy, some form of dramatic event. As what this does is this starts to dislodge the energy inside of you. So if you are being spacious and proactive enough with what is going on energetically this month, you'll not need that to happen. But some people can feel very overwhelmed when the energy is like this, as it can be a lot of stimulation on subtler spiritual levels. There's a lot of new vibrations landing. At the same time, we're being asked to let go and to release and to enter into a phase of liminality. And at the same time, there are so many potentials moving. And at the same time, the mind is freaking out because it has lost a certain type of solidity. And now it wants to grasp onto something that feels a bit more solid. So that is the other point I feel very strongly for this next window of time is, yes, the inquiry about what timeline do I choose to be on and how can I choose to migrate now? And then the cultivation of a certain type of spaciousness in your being to work with what's arising, to unhook yourself and to weave yourself into this new reality by working with the energies that are abundantly available for you in this window. There's so much that you will see when you are in a less distracted state of mind. Figure out what it is in your life that is a distraction and be black and white about it. Make more space for emptiness, for silence, to not be filling your space with inputs all the time. This is a space where your true wisdom can arise from within. This is a space where potentials can reach you. And this is a space where you are in communication with your higher self in a greater way. So that's the second thing that I feel. Now, the third thing that I sort of touched on, but I want to mention it in a bit of a different way here, is the conversation and communication with potentials. There's so much that wants to come into the picture in this window of time as the beginning steps of a new foundation that lays up a multi-year process. The pieces that you're receiving now are pieces. They are not the whole puzzle. You will receive the whole puzzle, but don't get too focused and fixed on the individual pieces that you receive in this time. Don't try to action them immediately, anchor them perfectly, manifest them. Don't grab the first bits of inspiration, potential, vision, direction that you get and decide to make that your whole identity, at least not for March. Create the spaciousness to recognize that this is a piece that I'm being given. What is the version of me that I am being asked to expand into? And how can I bring to me the other pieces of it? All I'm saying here is expect the vision of yourself to be far greater than you have imagined so far. And when we're very focused on one aspect, one expression of the vision itself, we can fall asleep to the bigger picture. And what this does is it doesn't create enough spaciousness, and it doesn't allow enough of a vibrational bandwidth for us to receive and align with the rest of the picture. So stay open, stay in communication with these potentials, feel the pieces, like them, say yes to them, but don't get too mentally obsessed with them, fixed on them, and don't try to force things. If things start to flow and to move and you feel like taking aligned action, great, but let it happen in the flow. Let it feel natural. Don't force things. Your wisdom that appears in a later moment, or a moment that appears to be later, will explain to you why it was that it wasn't actually relevant to push on your action just in that moment. Say yes to the biggest possible vision for your human incarnation, for the role that you're here to play, and for who you are here to be, as it is magnificent, glorious, and it is beyond what you can currently dream. But you have to begin with this communication. Okay. Oh yes, there's one last thing that I was feeling. It's very connected to the conversation around getting on the right timeline and asking yourself, what timeline do I truly want to be on? Time to let go of your crutches. Time to let go of the safety that you're holding on to, which is keeping you small. Perhaps it is circumstantial. Perhaps it is an expression of identity that you're really comfortable in. What are your crutches? What are the crutches that you are either consciously or unconsciously very attached to? And they are inhibiting the greater flow that wants to happen for you. And they're inhibiting the expansiveness that wants to come through. Now, the thing about expansiveness and the momentum that is going to manifest for you, nothing can stop your true expansion. Nothing can stop the momentum of your soul. It's almost we can feel though that, oh, if I don't get over this egoic layer, I'm just not going to get there. You are going to get there. Nothing can stop your potential. Nothing can stop your vision. But the things that are playing out inside of your psychology can make it slower, more painful, and more difficult. The difference doesn't lie in whether or not it's going to come through. The difference lies in how smoothly it comes through, how easy it is, and how effortless and how much fun you have. So just be honest about the crutches that you have and let go of them. Everything you want is on the other side of that little thing that you believe that you need to hold on to. If you do not let go of the crutches willingly, something will happen that tears them off your path, and that will be far more painful for yourself, and if there are others involved, for them as well. So be honest about the crutches that you're being invited to let go of. The version of self that's been really comfortable whether you've been in a version of self for a long time that's figuring it out and that feels really comfortable now, how about you decide that you're ready? How about you decide to let go of the version of self that is trying so hard, working so hard? I'm going to make another video about this. It'll be up in a few days, and I will put a link to it either on the end card once it's up. But that video is going to be about how do we actually shift versions and stop trying to fix a broken version of self. Broken as in, it's like a bit harsh to define it as broken, and it's not actually accurate, but a version of self that is entrenched in a limited perspective. We don't transform from changing that version. There's a specific way we do this. And when we understand this, things get a lot easier, a lot smoother, and it's a lot less hassle. And it's a lot more fun and liberating and beautiful and quick. Okay, guys. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. Let me know how this landed in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling, March. Let me know what you're excited about. Let me know what you're letting go of. I love to hear from you all. Sending you all so much love. Bye.